Every single blue-eyed person alive on Earth today traces back to one person. Not one tribe, not one population, one individual, who lived near the Black Sea roughly 6,000 to 10,000 years ago, whose OCA2 gene mutated in a way that dramatically reduced melanin production in the iris. One person, one mutation, hundreds of millions of descendants. But here's what almost nobody knows about those eyes. There is no blue pigment inside them, not a single molecule of it. Every shade of blue you have ever seen in a human eye, from the palest ice to the deepest navy, is a complete optical illusion. A trick of physics so elegant it took scientists centuries to fully understand. And within that illusion exists not one color, but 7 entirely distinct visual experiences, each one built differently, each one carrying its own unique biological advantages. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how your eye produces its color and why no 2 shades of blue are actually the same. Let's dive straight in. The ice blue eye. Imagine looking through a piece of frosted glass with a faint light behind it. That is the ice blue eye, the palest, most ethereal shade in the entire blue spectrum. These eyes look almost transparent. They carry a ghostly, crystalline quality that makes them appear to glow from within. In certain lighting, they shift towards silver, towards gray, or towards something that looks almost colorless. The biology here is extreme. Ice blue eyes have the absolute minimum amount of melanin of any eye type in existence. The stroma, the fibrous front layer of the iris, is very loose and sparse. When light enters, almost none of it is absorbed. Nearly all of it scatters back out simultaneously. Because there is so little material to interact with, the scattering is maximally diffuse. The result is that pale, washed-out blue that looks like frosted glass held up to a window. The advantage that comes with this eye type is equally extreme. Research suggests that individuals with very low iris melanin have higher photoreceptor sensitivity in low light conditions. They can detect faint differences in light intensity that people with darker eyes simply cannot register. The trade-off is real, though. The same lack of melanin that creates this sensitivity means minimal protection against UV radiation and bright light. The iris cannot absorb excess light effectively. It passes straight through to the retina. People with ice blue eyes reach for sunglasses first, and they genuinely need them more than anyone else. The clear sky blue eye. This is what most people picture when they think of blue eyes. Vivid, bright, clean. The kind of blue that photographs effortlessly and catches attention across a room. If the ice blue eye is a frosted window, the clear sky blue eye is an open sky on a cloudless afternoon. These eyes sit in the sweet spot of blue eye biology. There is still very little melanin in the stroma, but just enough density in the collagen fibers to produce maximum Rayleigh scattering of blue wavelengths without any warmth or muddiness entering the color. The result is that definitive, unmistakable blue that is neither too pale nor too deep. An interesting structural advantage here is contrast. Research in visual perception has found that clear blue irises create a higher degree of contrast between the iris and the pupil than almost any other eye color. This contrast makes the pupil more visually detectable to others. And this matters more than you might think. Pupil dilation is one of the primary unconscious signals humans use to read emotion, interest, and attraction in each other. In clear blue eyes, that dilation is far more visible than in dark eyes. People looking into clear blue eyes are reading emotional signals more accurately than they even realize. This creates a subtle but real social transparency, a feeling of openness that influences how others respond to the person carrying it. The steel or gray blue eye. Steel blue eyes occupy a uniquely compelling space between blue and gray. They are not pale enough to be ice, not vivid enough to be clear sky. They carry a weight and a depth that lighter blue shades do not possess, a coldness that reads as serious and composed even at a conversational distance. If the clear sky blue eye is an open afternoon sky, the steel blue eye is the sky an hour before a storm rolls in. The biology producing this color involves a slightly denser collagen structure in the stroma compared to lighter blue types. When the collagen fibers are more tightly packed, they scatter light less efficiently. Some of the longer wavelengths that would normally pass through are partially scattered back. This adds a gray component to the blue base, desaturating the color and creating that characteristic steel quality. There is also typically a very slight increase in melanin compared to ice or sky blue eyes. Not enough to introduce warmth, but enough to absorb some scattered light and reduce the overall brightness. The advantage associated with steel blue eyes is particularly fascinating. Studies in visual processing have found that individuals with gray-toned irises may perform better in tracking fast-moving objects and distinguishing objects against complex backgrounds. The denser iris structure that desaturates the color may reduce internal light scatter within the eye itself, improving what researchers call contrast sensitivity. This is why steel blue eyes carry a reputation for a sharp, penetrating quality. It is not just aesthetic. There may be genuine perceptual differences at work. The deep navy blue eye. Most people do not even know dark blue eyes exist as a distinct category. They assume blue eyes are always light, but navy blue eyes, deep, rich, almost midnight in certain lighting, are a real and genuinely rare phenotype that stops people when they see it up close. At first glance, many people mistake these for very dark gray or even a deep purple. They have an intensity that lighter blue eyes simply do not carry, a depth that draws you in rather than striking you from a distance. Think of the difference between looking up at a midday sky and looking up at the sky just after sunset. Same basic color, completely different experience. The mechanism here is more complex than lighter blue types. Navy blue eyes still involve Rayleigh scattering. There is still no blue pigment present. But the stroma in these eyes is unusually dense and tightly structured. The collagen fibers are packed more closely than in any other blue eye variant. This dense structure does two things simultaneously. It reduces the overall amount of light that scatters, making the eye appear darker. And it scatters the longer wavelengths more than typical blue eyes do, which paradoxically deepens and enriches the blue rather than graying it. Navy blue eyes also tend to be more stable across different lighting conditions than lighter blue varieties. Where ice or sky blue eyes shift dramatically depending on ambient light, navy blue eyes hold their color consistently. The depth of their structure anchors the color. This color stability combined with the high contrast they create gives navy blue eyes a striking consistency of presence that lighter variants cannot match. The teal or blue-green eye. This is where the blue spectrum begins to bleed into something else entirely. Teal eyes sit right on the boundary between blue and green. They are neither fully one nor fully the other. Depending on the lighting, the time of day, or even what color clothing the person is wearing, these eyes can appear to shift between a vivid aqua blue and a clear sea green. This is not imagination. The shift is real, and it is physics. Think of standing at the edge of a tropical ocean. The water near the shore looks green. Further out, it looks blue. It is the same water, just different depths interacting with light differently. Teal eyes involve the standard low melanin stroma that produces blue scattering, but they also contain a small but meaningful amount of a yellow pigment called lipochrome. When the scattered blue light from the stroma combines with the faint yellow filter of the lipochrome, the perceived color shifts toward green. The balance between these two factors is exquisitely sensitive. Warm light amplifies the yellow lipochrome contribution, pulling the eye toward green. Cool light amplifies the blue scatter, pulling it back toward teal. People with teal eyes are sometimes told their eyes change color with their mood. The emotion-driven changes in pupil size slightly alter how much of each component is visible. It feels like magic. It is just physics responding to biology. Research suggests that the combination of blue scattering and lipochrome filtration may create a wider perceived color sensitivity in the surrounding environment. A perceptual breadth that pure blue eye carriers do not share in the same way. The periwinkle, or violet blue eye. This is the rarest shade in the entire blue spectrum. So rare that many people dispute its existence until they see it in person. Periwinkle or violet blue eyes carry a faint purple or lavender quality that seems almost impossible for a human eye. In direct sunlight, they are unmistakably present. In dim indoor lighting, they deepen toward a rich indigo that borders on supernatural. Imagine a clear blue sky just at the moment it begins to shift toward dusk. That faint, cool violet that appears at the horizon before full darkness sets in. That is the palette of this eye type. The physics producing this color involve an unusual combination of factors. The stroma must be sparse enough to scatter blue light strongly, but the underlying layer of the iris at the back must be unusually dark, absorbing the red wavelengths that would normally warm the eye. The combination of strong blue scatter without the typical warm undertone creates a cooler, slightly shifted blue that the human eye perceives as nudging toward purple. True violet eyes are extraordinarily rare in the general population. They are more commonly observed in individuals with albinism, where near-complete pigment absence allows blood vessels at the back of the eye to contribute a red undertone to the blue scatter, creating the famous violet appearance. But non-albino periwinkle eyes, where stroma architecture creates the cooler shift without full pigment absence, do exist, and they are among the most visually arresting phenotypes ever documented in humans. The stormy or changeable blue eye. The final type is the most dynamic of all, and in many ways the most fascinating. Stormy blue eyes do not have a fixed shade. They move. They shift between blue, gray, and occasionally green, depending on the light, the environment, and even the colors surrounding them. Owners of this eye type will tell you their eyes look completely different on different days. They are right. If the other eye types are paintings with fixed colors on the canvas, the stormy blue eye is a mirror, constantly reflecting and reinterpreting the world around it. The biology here involves a stroma that is structurally inconsistent across different regions of the iris. Some areas are sparser, producing brighter blue scatter. Other areas are slightly denser, producing gray. Some sections carry trace amounts of lipochrome, introducing a green element in specific lighting conditions. The iris is not a uniform structure in these eyes. It is a mosaic of slightly different optical environments. As light enters from different angles and at different intensities, different regions of the iris dominate the overall perceived color. This variability is not a flaw, it is a sensitivity. Stormy blue eyes are extraordinarily responsive to the environment. They function almost like a living barometer of light, accurately reflecting the quality and tone of the world around them. This responsiveness appears to correlate with heightened environmental sensitivity in the individuals who carry it, a perceptual system that is tuned to detect changes that others filter out. The advantage all blue eyes share. Beyond the specific advantages of each type, every blue eye shares one universal biological characteristic: enhanced low-light vision. Because the iris contains so little melanin, more light reaches the retina in dim conditions. Blue-eyed individuals consistently perform better in low-light visual tasks than brown-eyed individuals. The sensitivity that makes bright sunlight uncomfortable is the same sensitivity that makes darkness more navigable. Blue eyes were not built for tropical beaches and bright sunlight. They were built for the long northern winters, for gray skies and early dawns, for seeing clearly when the world around them was dark. They still carry that advantage today, quietly, in every blue-eyed person who has ever found themselves able to see just a little better than everyone else when the lights go down. So which of these 7 types do you have? Drop it in the comments below. I would genuinely love to know. And if this changed how you see your own eyes, hit the like button and subscribe. We go this deep every single video. I will see you in the next one.